what's up, everyone? Let me know if you guys can hear me very well. If not, then I have to fix this. But welcome to another edition of the NukeStream. Um, and yeah, you guys know where to find me. Linktree is gonna be in the chat. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Patreon. Patreon's $5 a month. I drop articles there, kind of deeper into the weeds. I just dropped like a preview of my pool guide for the summer. That way, you guys can do well with the ladies in the summer and kind of position yourself and to win and to enjoy the summer and pools, right? Because life is about having fun, right? Sometimes. Uh, on top of that, if you guys would like some coaching, DM me on Instagram or Twitter. We'll set something up. Give me your two best times, and I'll work with you. And we'll give an hour. We'll talk an hour about any issues, problems, anything. Like consult with me, and we'll clear your mind and help you make a decision or whatever you need from me, right? It's always good to have an outside force or outside person that's not your friends or family that is not afraid to tell you what you're doing wrong and all that. But I have to charge because it takes time to do these things, right? So yeah. All right. So we already got people shuffling in. We got Big Matthew in the house. We got Danger. We got Godspeed. We got Filipino working at CVS. Hello, sir. How was meeting the legendary Chad Elkins, CPA? Oh man, he's great. I didn't get to see him too much because when I arrived at the cigar lounge, he had to go. He had a fancy Sweet 16 to go to. But he's a cool guy, and I wish I could have just spent more time talking to him. But I spent most of the time talking to Cappy and all that. And yeah, talking to Cappy was fun. It was funny. He listened to my rants. He's a very good listener. I had a lot of rants that I had to get off my chest. And what better person to rant to than Cappy, right? Um, and yeah, he paid for my cigar and paid for my drink. So he's a good guy. Very good BD. I'm glad that I'm getting to meet a lot of the people on the internet that like authors and stuff that I get to read, and it's just very interesting. And I understand too that like I also the thing about Cappy is that yes, he's intelligent, but a lot of the deep stuff, right? Like Cappy's intelligent and he's like in person intelligent. Like there's people that have these podcasts that you swear like when you meet them they're got to be a genius because their podcasts do so well. But Cappy really is smart. The way we talk about high level stuff, and it's just like okay, this guy knows. I mean, obviously he wrote like six books like by now. But anyways, yes, enough fluffing up Cappy. Uh, so how's everyone doing today? Um, Very important topic. I know I don't like picking on people. I don't like sensationalism. I don't like oh this thing happened, so I got to talk about it. I'm not that type of content creator where someone does something dumb and I got and you pile on them, right? However, this is something that is a day-to-day issue, and it affects all of us. It affects me. It affects you guys, and sometimes we trip and fall, and then we can end up hurting ourselves or hurting others or ruining our lives because we're not careful or we do we're like most things that require discipline. You're gonna fail a little bit. You're gonna get off the path. The important thing is to keep doing it. Try to be as disciplined as you can. You are human. You are gonna err from the path, but for the most part, if you try your best and you give it honest effort, you will not have to deal with stuff that we're seeing right now. Um, and the important thing is too is that women have an extreme amount of power in this sexual marketplace, right? And you have to understand where they have power, where they can screw you, and just kind of um, protect yourself the best you can, right? And there are ways to protect yourself. The sex ed they'll say, oh, abstinence, right? Well, that's not realistic. You're a guy, you have needs. All society is trying to make you abstinent anyway. By the dating advice they give you, the way you should be talking to women, how you should emote more. Basically become a defective woman. That'll get you laid more. That's the subtext to all this like egalitarianism and all that stuff, social egalitarianism. That's not true, right? You are a man, you have needs, and also you don't have to suppress your masculine spirit in order to make women more comfortable in order to get laid, right? That does nothing. So abstinence is totally off the table because that's not fair. Obviously, um, Obviously, abstinence is 100% effective for any sexual problem because you're just not doing it. But you know, abstinence is not like you're a person, you have needs, right? Um, yeah, Godspeed says, "Gonna set your social means you gotta watch your booty." Yeah, you are on defense totally. So listen, guys, this happened to Walter, right? And everyone's piling on, right? There are people that rightfully so, that are piling on him because it really was a mistake. It was a mistake, you know. Um, but I'm not here to say I'm better or I would never do that or anything like that, right? You guys have to understand that we are humans and we make mistakes. However, you have to understand too that those mistakes will can destroy your life, your reputation, your brand, anything. Um, I understand him because when you have an attractive woman, um, and you're hooking up with her, it's hard, right? You're half drunk. She's on top of you. She's probably has an accent. She's saying in her native language to take off the condom, daddy, or whatever. And you're just like, and you just she's it's the moment. I'm sure you guys have been there, and it's tough. It's not easy, right? That's why we say discipline, sexual discipline. A lot of guys are piling on Walter because they've never had those type of opportunities. So your discipline cannot be tested if you've never, you can't prove you have discipline if it's never been tested, right? So for those guys, I say, hey, go out and meet a really hot chick. Like I'm telling you, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And when she's on top of you, begging you to take off the condom, or you don't have a condom and this is might be your only chance to get with her or whatever, then your discipline will be tested, right? But you not being able to get a chick is not discipline, right? That's the tradcon kind of myth where they say, well, red pill guys are degenerate. I'm like, well, you don't even have the ability to be degenerate. So why would I, your discipline is not being tested because you don't have the ability to be degenerate anyway. So why are you even in this conversation, right? You see the difference uh, between that. So those guys, of course, they're going to be happy that a guy that gets laid is having this issues. It's like they're comeuppance or they're just desserts. Um, and then on the other side, you have the women that are supporting her because she nailed herself to a cross, right? This all may be a ruse for clout and all that stuff. I understand the game and all that, but let's say that this situation is real, and women are supporting the girl, obviously sisterhood, and she's saying, I want the child, and you have, why don't it's meant to be, blah blah blah. And the fact is, like, that's not how love works. You don't get to meet someone a month later, decide they're meant to be, right? That's not, obviously. And there's a vested interest because he has money, right? And I want you guys to understand that this would be very different if he was just like a regular dude like me, I mean, I earn pretty well, but let's say a regular salary. Do you like a lot of women? That is why the A word exists, and it is because in case a regular dude who she does not want to chain her the rest of her life to via offspring knocks her up, then she can go get that A word, right? And you know these low IQ idiots that argue about the A word online, they're just like they think it's a across the board thing where the reason women want A word or don't want it or something, it's because it's convenient for them in that moment, right? Of course, a mother of three who married a guy who supports her and does, and makes sure she's okay and is conservative, has an image to keep, is going to say the A word is evil. But a 19, 20, 23-year-old girl that's out there um, banging dudes and is afraid to get uh, pregnant by some frat boy, um, is going to fight for A word relentlessly. It has nothing to do with morals. It has to do with whatever's convenient at that time in your life. So when whatever side women take about these issues where men that have clout or rich or whatever get a girl pregnant, and then they say, hey, you're gonna get the abortion. Sorry, I shouldn't have said the word, but you're gonna get the A word. Then um, women don't like that because it basically it's taking away power from the woman, right? And that's all this is about. Rule zero: more sexual power to men. And one way to give more men more sexual power in the marketplace is to prepare them for these situations, and that's what I'm here for. So you have the women that are going to support her regardless of whether she's going to do the A word or not, and you have the guys that are happy that this happened to him because they themselves had never been presented an opportunity where they had to practice sexual discipline, right? And what ends up happening is there's a bitterness and there's a lot of feelings. Everyone's like and then since he's tied to making red pill content as well, now this is like a gotcha moment, right? Because this never happens to Christian men and women. This never happens to regular people. This never happens to good people. This never happens to bad people. Blah blah blah, so on and so forth, right? Um, Realize that this could happen to anyone, right? You could be a guy that has everything going for them in life, and then you knock up a chick, and great. Now you got to deal with that. It's not fair, but for the most part, uh, there. Let's talk about prevention. Like how do we prevent something like this, right? Really easy to tell a chick that's mid or below or a 6 or below, that hey, you want to use a condom or not see them as much, or just downright like not want to have sex with it, right? But when it gets to these bigger league women, these women that are very attractive, these women that are demons, so to speak, in the bedroom, right? That's when your discipline is tested. So how do we strengthen your sexual discipline? You always keep in mind, right, that uh, putting yourself in situations where you could make a bad decision. That's number one. So I'd say number one is alcohol, right? If you're out with a chick that's very attractive, or you're out with a chick, any chick, right? And you tend to be drink a lot or make a lot of dumb decisions when you drink. Maybe when you're going to maybe start learning how to cut back or don't do alcohol at all, right? Like, and that applies to anything in life. Like, if alcohol makes you stupid, stay away from the alcohol. It's really that simple. You don't need it. Luckily for me, alcohol has never made me that stupid. So even when I'm drinking or drunk, I have been able in the past to protect myself, use prophylactics. Um, but yeah, so any substance, anything that you take, drink, or whatever that makes you make your guard go down in terms of protecting yourself, make sure that that maybe you skip that part or drink less or whatever. So yeah, there's that. Um, yeah, let me read some of these chats. My big thing is that G word is horrendous crime, but paternity fraud is unpunishable. Yeah, gynocentrism, my friend. This is so true. What is so true? You never see the offspring of high value men getting a. That's what I said. That's what I said in my tweet. Um, you may not like Walter, you may not like their platform, right? I don't care about that. I don't care whether you like it or not. I'm using this as an example because at the end of the day, maybe some of you guys will become high status, maybe in your communities, maybe in your job, in your industry, or in neighborhood, whatever, in the place you work at, and you may start attracting very attractive women, right? And those women are predatory, especially if they're hitting the wall like 30 years old. They're trying to get their baby and get out, and you see they like you. Maybe they like you for what you are. Maybe they like you for your money. Maybe they like you because of the way you look. Whatever. You have to be careful. Um, so understand that the dynamics here is that the benefit of being a regular guy is that you don't have to worry about this as much. Sad to say, I don't want to. I don't want like talking about this too much. It's very dark, but a lot of women in your past may have gotten the A word and not even told you. It could have been your kid and you have no idea, right? When you have someone that has a lot of clout and a woman has the opportunity to nail herself to the cross, and on top of that, get a payout for the rest of their life, and on top of that, um, get to be a little internet famous for a while. they're going to take it. Assume they're going to take it, right? And that's part of sexual discipline, right? As you get more status, as you get more money in life, and you have more to lose, right? Uh, you're going to have to start thinking harder about, hey, I may be a target now for women. It may not be at the level of an internet celebrity, right? I get it, but it may be at the level of now that you're established and you're attractive and you hit your stride in life. That the girls that are on their way down and trying to get someone on their way down are going to use tactics to get you to commit to them and get their baby that they want from you. So you have to, as you get older, yes, you can enjoy women, but you have to enjoy women smartly. If not, things will happen. So uh, the more you have to lose, the harder you have to work to keep it, right? Sometimes. And uh, you'll never be able to enjoy women unless you take the precautions, right? Now, are there other things for sexual discipline that can help a situation like this? Like, for example, a leak, like a girl leaks stuff, or a girl leaks messages, or a girl puts you on blast. Let's say, like for example, I got put on blast because I got caught on that. Are we dating the same guy, Dallas? And it was multiple pages, like 2 or 3 pages where I got caught. Right? Is there a way to protect against that? Not really. Right now, there was a guy that sued for it or is suing for that and all that. But the thing is, like, that's very dangerous territory, right? You don't want to litigate too much when it comes to this stuff because it could come back to bite you in the ass, right? There can be false allegations for you know what. Women will fight tooth and nail to protect their reputation, their money, and all that stuff. So you don't want to. I wouldn't push the issue too much. I didn't. I actually made friends with the girl that did that. She was just a little salty because I went out with another girl instead of her for my birthday like 3 years ago, right? It happens. Women do get salty. They get their egos bruised. But at the end of the day, just for me, I was just a sweetheart to her. I was nice. I said, "Hey, I accept your apology. It's not a big deal," and that was cool. That's it. It ended right there, right? And you see, in a way, a person that has in your past that's bitter with you and angry with you because of something that like that could end up hurting you in the future, right? So always be kind and be nice and forgive because at the end of the day, you get nothing. You get nothing out of just being thinking this is some kind of war where you have to win against women. It's not. Understand that you don't have a lot of power anyway, and if you go out there and try to litigate everything, you're going to put in a lot of effort for maybe not something that's not worth it. So yeah, um, sexual discipline comes in many forms as well. Like it's not only prophylactics; it could also be getting STD tests yourself and all that. Get them often. I have a video about how to confront women about like the whole STD thing and all that, but we'll get into that into a little later. It's interesting because my father, this was like the number one lesson he had in my life was like don't use protection, don't get a girl pregnant, and I think a lot of fathers beat this into us because it's the most consequential thing you can do besides getting married is having a kid, especially with a woman that doesn't love you, right? Because if a woman doesn't love you and has your kid, what are the chances that she's a sane, good woman and she's going to make this co-parenting thing work? What are the chances? What is her motivation to do that, right? Um, but yeah, very important that you control the birth, right? Now, once the genetic material leaves your body, you have no say. Understand that completely, right? Um, Realize that if any of it falls anywhere on her body and she gets up to go to the bathroom, you don't know what she's doing with that genetic material. She could be shoving it inside of her or she could be cleaning it off. You don't know, right? And that's the scary part. Always try to finish inside the prophylactic if you don't know or you don't trust her, right? You don't have to be super like afraid and all that stuff. Most girls aren't like that. I still haven't encountered one like that. But again, as you get more popular, rich, and you're gonna start meeting two girls that are kind of got something off with them, and they're a little got a screw loose, and they just may want to get pregnant, and they're obsessed with you for some reason. For some reason, they need to get pregnant by you that you don't know. So, right, keep your eyes open. Don't let your guard down until you've been with her a couple times and all that. And a girl being extremely attractive is not an excuse for you to let your guard down. However, I understand. I am human. It's happened to me before. Um, there have been women in my past, and very rarely in my present, where they show me the birth control patch, or they have a lot to lose in their life, and having a baby would kind of not destroy their life, but change their life for good. So it's like, okay, um, I let my guard down. Is it smart? No. But the point stands that you have to try your best to be sexual discipline. Your discipline will get tested, right? If you are out there dating, your discipline will get tested, and you have to try to do the best you can. And sometimes the best is not good enough, right? There will be times where you meet a girl, right, who is seems like an innocent person. Um, and you may hook up with her, and then she sounds very responsible. Maybe she shows you her birth control patch, or she says, hey, I'm getting birth control put in, or whatever. And then you hook up with her, and then you don't see her anymore. Then you hook up with another girl, and then that girl says, hey, 2 weeks later you gave me something. You're just like, what do you mean? I, I, I don't have um, any symptoms. And now you have two-pronged problem, right? Now you don't know where you got this STD from, which a lot of STDs are asymptomatic, so you don't know where you got it from. And then you pass it on to someone else, and that someone else may be someone that is like very new to sex. Maybe they just started having sex recently. Maybe it's a younger girl, or maybe it's a girl that is simply trying to do things right, and she got caught up with you, and you passed it along to her, right? And are you a bad person because of that? Not really. It's life. And like, again, discipline is doing the best you can. It's not like completely shutting down every pleasure in life because you it's too scary to do something. So right now you have to look at this situation as women are incredibly powerful in this whole process, right? They have the power to destroy you the minute they walk into their house. They have the power to say things, do things, to frame you and make you look bad, right? So, but very few women do that. So that's number one. I know a lot of people say if you talk to women, you'll get in trouble. You have to be careful because there's false allegations if they don't like you the next morning, or they're all trying to get a baby. And I'm like, no, that's very rare. Very few women do that, and all that. So the number one thing, though, that you will have to absolutely assume, besides all women are promiscuous, is that all women have an STD. You have to assume that, because right now, if you look at the CDC data, right, it is wild. It is wild. You like, guys, go into the CDC and just learn about some STDs, and you see it's wild how much women have STDs these days. And a lot of STDs that women have are pretty black and white. It says can most likely happens because of multiple sex partners, right? Um, they kind of try to blame guys for having being the ones that doted out, but right. But the women are the ones opening their legs and having sex with guys, right? So what ends up happening is that they have sex with guys, they get an STD, and then they have sex with another guy, blah, blah, and then they spread. But women have the most of the STDs, so you have to assume that, hey, women are getting more busy, they're having more sex. It correlates with the whole 30% of men not having sex, 33% of men not having sex, and only 15% of women not having sex. Meaning, women are having more sex with more people, meaning that they're going to catch the most amount of STDs by probability. And if you look at the CDC data, there's this report in Houston right now where there's a syphilis pandemic, right? Epidemic, pandemic, I don't know the difference. Where basically the CDC say, hey, ladies, please stop, like slow down. And no one's slowing down. Like they're 100%, 160% rate, higher than average rate of syphilis in Houston right now. So when it comes to this kind of world of sex and all that stuff, realize it can be a minefield, right? And you do have options. You can choose to be with one girl and get a girlfriend, right? But again, that takes time. Um, realize too that you're having a condom is going to solve 99% of these issues, right? Always have a condom and all that. Because if you don't, you run the risk of getting something and all that. Realize too that women do not tell you that they have these diseases most of the time, right? They keep it shut. They, either because they're embarrassed or they like you a lot, right? I have a friend that told me that, hey, I don't tell guys about my stuff I because I don't care. I only tell the guys that I care about, right? And that's insane. This is how it works. Guys with no sexual discipline that don't care spread it, and they spread it to women, and the women who don't care spread it to other women or other men that don't care. And here you are, you have one moment of weakness where you're drunk, you're coming home from a club, from dinner with her, and you have such a great time, and you don't have a condom or whatever, and then you get it, and then now you're part of that statistic, and now your sex life could be changed forever, or you could have a child that you don't want, right? So yeah. One of the biggest parts of sexual discipline too you want to do is educate yourself as much on STDs, right? Um, a lot of the STD talk and online is very feminine, fem centric in terms of how they communicate the information to you. Sometimes, like last year, a girl called me and said I had bacterial vaginosis. I don't know what the hell that is, right? So she blamed me for it, even though we hadn't hooked the window for her having got it and I was hooking up was way past, so it wasn't me. So that automatically tipped me off that she's seeing other guys. I already assumed it, but now it got confirmed. Like, you're seeing other guys because there's no way it doesn't live dormant in your body that long, right? And it's not asymptomatic. You have it, you have it. So um, they're right there. It's like, okay, this girl's getting busy, so and then I went and looked it up, and a lot of the language for these websites use these resources used to explain STDs. It's very like femcentric. Like, it's okay, you're still worth it. You're not a hoe. And then for the guys, it's like, hey, is my girl cheating if she gets an STD? I don't have it. Not necessarily, even though it's like it's highly contagious, but it's not necessarily. I'm like, yes, necessarily. That you should start looking into like infidelity, right? It's hard. So I think the best resource for sexual education, right, is there's a couple doctors on YouTube that explain it well, but also the CDC, right? Remember that organization that everyone's god in 2021, or sorry, 2020 and onward. Now everyone's ignoring it when it comes to STDs, which is quite literally one of the biggest pandemics in this country. Um, Now go in there and just kind of look through educate yourself against how things are passed on, whether you'll know it or not if you have it, whether how long it takes to cure, and all that. Because you may find a girl that you actually like, right? And, like this, it's not going off experience, but you may find a girl that you actually like, and one day you hook up with her and you give her something, and she's terrified, right? Women get terrified about this stuff, tears, crying, um, and all that. They feel uncomfortable, they feel guilty, and it's funny because most of the time I've been blamed for STDs a couple times in my life. I got tested and it turned out it wasn't me, right? But I still am a gentleman. I still tell them, hey, come over, let's talk. I know how you feel. I don't know how they feel, but I say, I know how you feel. And is it smart to tell a girl that realizing that you're realizing that she's kind of for the streets? Easy for a girl? No. So just for me personally, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I personally am a gentleman when dealing with this stuff. I make sure they're comfortable. Do a lot of them start feeling very connected to you and safe with you and want to hang out with you more? Yes, but it's life, right? I can't continue to see you if you have this STD, or if if you're just this, if you're this unsafe with other men, because I have to protect me and my future wife, right? Because I don't want to give my wife or the girl I settle down with something because you can't do the right thing. Um, so yeah, guys, educate yourself as much as you can, because in case one day you do give something to a woman, you can at least be like, hey, yeah, I've been there before, or I understand it's gonna be okay. This is what you do, right? She's gonna confide in you, right? No matter how independent women seem sometimes, when they go through a tough time, like a diagnosis like this, they're gonna defer to you. They're gonna want that support. They're gonna want that love, and that, not love, but like that they want you to be there. So don't be, it's good to know this stuff, right? Now, this is for girls you care about. If you don't care about the girl, then whatever, right? So, yeah. Uh, all right. Let's see. Yeah, iron rule number 5: never let a woman control a childbirth. Right. That means that's why the vasectomy tweet took off, because it was tongue in cheek. It was a little extreme. It was hyperbolic, but it removes that big stress off the table. You get to control the birth if you have the vasectomy, right? Um, that's a lot of power back in men's hands, right? And what is rule zero? Rule zero is about giving men sexual power in the marketplace, right? You may have the discipline to always wear a condom, right? You may, like, if you look at Walter's, possibly baby mama, if this is all true, right? She was very, very attractive, and then the voice, and I don't know if she was Asian or Latina, but I understand him. Like, I'm not. Why would I crap on a fellow man for? Obviously, they probably did it a lot, and that was not the smartest thing in the world. But understand too, as a guy, you might be infallible, right? And if you're a younger guy and you're ready, um, for the snip, and it's reversible, I guess it's reversible now. Um, it may not be the worst thing, right? If you're a guy that doesn't think he has a discipline to put on a condom every single time, right? Then go ahead and get the snip. I'm not saying to do it, but like, think about it. The point here is, I want to win, and part of winning is understanding where are my weak spots. And if you're one of the weak spots is I can't trust myself to practice safe sex, why not just do the procedure? Right. Luckily, I trust myself, and even then, it's a little dangerous and all that, navigating these waters. Right. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of all that. Right. It's not easy. Um, so, yeah. Guys, leave a super chat for the Nukester. Support the channel. Sign up for the Patreon. Right. Let's take a quick break with one of these. 見せて俺たちを安心させてくれんかい。All right. So, yeah, let's see. Had a girl tell me she got the herp, then wanted to sleep. Hit her with the elbow post and roll. The elbow post and roll. What's that? You're lucky. She told you, right? A lot of girls won't tell you. And herpes, it gets transferred to skin contact, right? So that means that once you touch skin, it doesn't necessarily penis and vagina. It could be, skin to skin, um, and all that. So yeah, I'm young, haven't had to deal with a lot of girls with STDs. Yeah, you accumulate it over time and all that, but realize there's a secret world of this stuff that girls talk about and all that. And when it comes to especially the A word, um, we don't know. I don't know personally the effects of that on a woman's psyche. I've heard stories that it really breaks women. I heard stories that women need to go to therapy for the rest of their life and all that. But um, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is for a woman having done that and what her life looks like. Right. I dated a girl last year who mentioned it in passing, and as I'm not a moralist. I wouldn't do it myself, but that's me. Like I'm not imposing my morals on anyone. But when she said it, I didn't know it was going to affect me or mess with me as much. When she, jokingly said, "Hell, yeah, whatever. If I ever get pregnant, I'll just take care of it." I know what she was referring to, but not take care of it, like raise it. Like I'll just go somewhere and take it. She said, And I was like, you know, nothing blasts the the image of femininity in a guy's mind of a girl he's seeing than that. That is because even if you don't care that much about this whole debate for the A word, it it's hard to explain, but it's just like a level of savagery and lack of empathy that you feel. You don't feel like they're as human, so it's really hard to describe, right? Um, Another thing I've seen that um, women are fighting tooth and nail for this to happen. For sorry, for a word to be codified and it be a federal law, right? Um, Realize that all this is about power. It's not about, hey, what is the right thing? That's what they try to trick us into thinking because it's about power. A girl that you see for a month that is very attractive that you probably could not get if you were not rich or clouded, right? I'm not trying to dig on anyone, but let's be honest here. Um, who you meet and hook up with for a month isn't really interested in being your forever girl. Her power lies in that she can use that baby as leverage to farm victim points, to farm money and a secure, money, a secure paycheck, and also, maybe even take down your business, take down your reputation, right? Who do you think is going to go to that girl to try to interview her? Who do you think is going to go to that girl to try to convince her of how she should go about this? There's going to be a whole, like, there's an army of people that are probably trying to get at her, like, oh, this is their chance to destroy that platform because they want to destroy that platform. Why would you be any different, right? Maybe not on that scale, but I'm just saying those are the ultimate consequences, right? It's sad. I don't want to look at women and be like they're the enemy or all that stuff, right? But they have not tried really hard to police each other or show us any better sometimes. And it's not that any woman will, it's that any woman could, right? And a lot of guys look back and with their pregnancy scares and they're like, thank God I didn't get that girl pregnant because that would have been the end of my life or something like that. So you have a lot to lose when it comes to sexual discipline. You have a lot to lose. You have to practice self discipline as best as you can, right? Um, it sucks, right? Because we're in a dating market where women have an extreme amount of power and influence, whether legally, whether it just you know, like right now, dating apps. Guys are like, why do you say that women are promiscuous? How can you say that? How could you assume that all women are promiscuous? That's unfair. And I'm like, it's not unfair. It's because a woman goes on a dating app and posts a picture of her like her face. That's it, just one picture of her face, and she's getting matches and opportunities. And Instagram the same, and in real life the same. Like she's not gonna take at least one of those, you know, or two or five. So when it comes down to it, it's you have no choice now. You have no choice but to be the best, or not, sorry, not the best, but the most disciplined you can be. Because if you're not, it could ruin your life very, very fast. And I don't want to see any guy lose his mind because he filled a girl up when you didn't use protection, or he got herpes, or any other STD that's incurable, right? Um, we did it, guys. We have liberated women completely. This is a downstream effect. We they said give us birth control so we don't have to worry about getting pregnant. We're like, okay, go ahead, you have it. Give us credit cards, go ahead. Let us work and have jobs. All right, go ahead. Um, we keep giving them power and power and power, and then they said, hey, you guys are on a throne right now. Can you guys get off the throne so we can be on the throne sometimes? And we're like, sure. And then we said, hey, we know you like these movies, but can we make these movies more for us? We're like, sure. Hey, we know you like social media. Can you make social media a little more sensitive because it hurts my feelings? Yeah, sure, you got it. We keep giving women, they don't seem to get any happier. They're not getting any happier, right? Oh, hey, I'm scared that I might get pregnant by a regular dude that I don't like that much. Can you fix that? Well, we made condoms and we made 20 other forms of birth control, and there's abstinence, and there's falling in love with one guy. They're like, no, not good enough. Can we have the right to destroy a possible life? Um, sure, we'll do it. We'll do it. Um, but that's the amount of power women have. The power is not in that we have given them certain benefits. The power is that men will never stop setting themselves on fire to make them 1% more comfortable or 2% more comfortable. Men are literally fighting tooth and nail, sacrificing their lives, their well-being, their reputation, just for so women can be slightly more comfortable. Right. So I want you guys to also know it could happen to you. It's not fair, right? Um, you could just be a guy that has sex with one girl all the time, and she can cheat on you, and it brings something to you, and that's it. You got it, right? Um, life's not fair, right? Don't beat yourself up that because something you got something that you're disgusting or degenerate or your life's falling apart. Like it's some kind of like your alcoholism or drugs. Or like no, it's you are in an environment where women are getting very, very busy and they're driving the STD pandemic. Women are, right? That's not your fault, but you still have to have sex and you still have to learn about women, right? And you still have to go out there and socialize and sex isn't easy anymore, right? So you have to take opportunities as they come. So um, at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself and do the best you can. And if the best isn't the best, sometimes isn't good enough, sometimes it's okay. Forgive yourself. It's not fair. I don't think it's fair. I met a girl last year who admitted to me that she had herpes, and I was like, uh, okay, well, thanks for telling me. She cried, and then she gave me a story about how she got it, like, which is fake. I didn't believe it, but it made me sad because this girl was very attractive and she was very fun, and I had a good, like she would have been maybe great in bed and all that. And she had beautiful eyes. She was, I think, half white and half Kushmiri, right? And she had a rocking body. Most women are obese and overweight, so it's just like, and she was kind of a fun person to talk to. And everything's ruined because she got this disease, and then it just, she's a promiscuous girl. And you're not going to feel hate towards these women or like contempt or anything. You're just going to feel pity, and you don't want this to happen. No one I know deserves this kind of like this stuff, right? But actions have consequences, right? And that's why you have to kind of accept it and be like, hey, sorry, I can't, like it's not worth it. And it's hard because they know that that's going to be your response. They're not going to sugarcoat it themselves either. So man, what's wrong with my mouse? Did my mouse die? Okay. But yeah, Tom Lakis, Hail Mary. I don't know what that means. Elon Musk repeatedly tweets about our citizenry increasing the birth rate. I appreciate our brother in Christ, Elon, but I had to request he financially support the endeavor. Yeah, this whole great replacement or not replacement, like falling birth rate stuff, it's bogus. Like you want people to, you want the birth rates to increase. Elect somebody that will cause the economy to turn around and be better, so I can buy a house. Right? I bet you, if I had a house, 3 rooms, and I had a more comfortable financial, I would be more inclined to have children. So, Mighty Zane, greetings from South Florida. Glad to see you are part of the Rule Zero crew. Hey, thanks, man. No problem. Mad Mall, very smart conversation. So many guys think it'll never happen to me. Yeah, it could happen to you. And a lot of the times it's like not a big, it's not like it's not a big deal, but you won't know it until you pass it to someone else because you could be asymptomatic, right? You don't even know. Why would you go get tested in a short span of time if you don't have it? Right. And is that your fault? Maybe it isn't. It depends how you look at it. But yeah. Oh, we got a $4.99 from Matthew, let me you get one of these, sir.
Thank you so much, best friend.
Matthew says, guys, if you control your child with birth destiny, you too can give super chats. True. Thank you. And we got another $5 super chat from No Link. You get one of these, sir.
Thank you so much, best friend.
No Link for the $5. Sleeping with a girl that has had BV is rough, and even if and is and wait, sleeping with a girl that has or had BV is rough, even if you find out halfway through her LTR. Yeah, because BV you get from having a lot of sex. They say that hey, you can get it from anything, laundry, like maybe you did your laundry, and it's basically the pH of the vagina is off, and it's caused by bacteria making the pH of the vagina off and all that stuff. So again, you look at this stuff on the internet. Everyone has their own theory, like these websites, because they're centered around making women feel good for their choices, right? But if you go on the CDC, the main reason they say, hey, it's multiple sex partners, right? Now, if your girl gets BV, is it like run for the hills and she's cheating on you? Not necessarily, right? But I would start investigating, like maybe check her phone a little bit, or because one of the causes of BV is multiple sex partners. So yeah, there's no way. I don't think that you can test it in men, right? Men, we carry the bacteria, but we can't test for it. So you'll never know if you have it. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Brendan Tracy, my last heartbreak before Red Pill, my friend said, dude, you wouldn't care if you were talking to other smokes. Talking to other smokes. You think most girl issues can be solved by this? I don't get it. My friend said, dude, you wouldn't care if you were talking to other smokes. Oh, like other girls? Like, if that's what you mean, then basically, yes, it's one of those underrated things that as a guy, you get your heart broken. You're just like, I know I want to take a break. I don't want to date for a while, right? But honestly, the fastest way to get rid of heartbreak and move on is to sleep with other women. I hate that it's so true, and I hate that it's so effective. But you may need to sleep with 10 women or 5 women, and you'll be healed really, really fast, right? It moves the needle so fast. So I understand there's gonna be a short mourning period where you're just like, wow, I can't believe my girl left me, blah blah. But the faster you get out there, and I know a lot of people are like, no, you need to take a break. I'm like, dude, for men, the faster we get out there and start talking to other women, the faster we take that pedestal that we put that girl on and slowly, put it down, right? So yes, it makes a huge difference. Yeah, abundance really is the key to getting over women. Because part of the reason you're heartbroken isn't because of love and good feelings and all that. It's because of your ego, because you thought you had something on lock, and now you don't know when you're going to get sex again, where you're going to get female attention again, right? It's a missed opportunity. So that's part of why you feel that heartbreak. Once you understand and convince yourself through action that you can get other girls, hotter girls, more fun girls, girls that probably are better than your ex, then you're going to be like, oh yeah, I forgot. I remember who I am now, right? So yeah. So yeah. But anyways, guys, major takeaways from this. I did a lot of rambling. Wasn't super prepared for today's show, but understand these are the major takeaways, right? Iron Rule 5: control the birth. Once that genetic material leaves your body, you're at risk. You know, like if you finish on her face or any part of your body, she walks up and goes to the bathroom. Who the hell knows what she's doing in there, right? Obviously, are there girls you can trust? Yeah. I mean, if you hook up with a girl long enough, you'd be like, okay, this girl, I trust her. If I finish on her body, I don't have to like follow her into the bathroom or anything like that. And realize that as a regular guy, you don't have to deal with this level of craziness and and clout where a girl is leaking text and all that stuff. That's a little exaggerated, a little sensationalist. If this is all true, it could be a ruse, it could be over exaggerated, it could be fake. But realize you don't have to deal with it. However, there still will be crazy girls that wouldn't mind having your baby, and not you. So always protect yourself. It could happen to you. If you do decide, always educate yourself on STDs and all that stuff as much as you can, um, how they're propagated, and because maybe in the future you will get a girl, you may accidentally pass this to a girl, and she'll be scared and terrified, and you can be there and be like, hey, sorry, this is what you're supposed to do, and all that, and always err on the side of being a gentleman, right? If the girl is actually not insane, um I always offer, hey, let me go, I can go to the clinic with you, or you want to come over after and talk, and you want to be there for them, because you want this interaction, which could probably end the relationship you have with this person. You want it to be a positive one, just so in the future she can at least look back and be like, hey, that guy, he treated me with such respect and all that. I don't have to like go after him in the future, or come out or say something bad about him, right? So yeah, there's that. Other takeaways: it could happen to you, even if you're careful. Um, you don't have to, you don't know what can happen. Um, when you don't know, there's no 100% surefire way to not get an STD, right? There's always something that you can get, except abstinence. And let's be real now, we're not going to be abstinent. So forgive yourself if you do. You tried your best. Don't, your life's not over. You're still you. It happens to the best of people, right? And all that. So yeah, those are the major takeaways from this, guys. Um, be careful out there. You enjoy women, but enjoy women smartly. And at the end of the day, take care of yourself. Yeah, most important thing. You are the most important person in your life. Your happiness is your own problem. Act like it. So anyways, guys, that's all I have. You guys know where to find me. Sign up for the Patreon articles. We got a group chat going, and all that. And coming soon on Patreon is going to be a pool, summer pool guide, so you guys can set yourself up for success. On top of that, guys, um, uh, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, become a member. It's only $5 as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So, all right, take care.